He's back.
I am back. What it do, baby?
Tua Tagovailoa returns Week 8 against the Arizona Cardinals as the Dolphins look to get off their losing snide and hopefully do so with QB1 back. Before I hop into today's video, get the best Dolphins merch out there at the DolphinsDive.com. Like this Tua Tagovailoa shirt, just dropped a new hoodie design for him, so check it out. Best Dolphins merch in the game. I'm going to start with the Dolphins offense versus the Cardinals defense. The Dolphins offense is 32nd in points per game, and that is what happens when you lose QB1. I think that is a perfect example of how good Tua is. A lot of people said anybody can fill his shoes and have success, and that was just blatantly false as proven by these past 4 games. Cardinals defense is 24th in points allowed. Now the Dolphins rushing offense versus the Cardinals rushing defense. The Dolphins are 11th in rushing yards per game, and the Cardinals are 26th in rushing yards allowed. So right off the bat, you have an advantage in the rushing department, and I think the Dolphins have done a tremendous job these past 2 weeks on building that running game without Tua as a source of offense. But I think that's something they need to continue to lean on. I think what's held them back in previous years with the Mike McDaniel era is when they face those good teams that everyone likes to note how bad the Dolphins do against it. Those good teams, for the most part, tend to just park 2 safeties back there and make you pass the football or make you run the football, and the Dolphins have not done so. But I think what we've seen the past 2 weeks is something they need to build off of, even with Tua back. I know they're going to want to get the passing offense back because of how bad it is, how hungry Waddle and Tyreek likely are, but I think they need to continue to be able to sit in I form and run the ball down teams' throats out of 21 personnel. So I think that's something I hope they continue to do. I really am hopeful that Mike McDaniel doesn't shy away from running the football. Now, obviously, Tua's back. We know what kind of passing offense we can have. So I'm not saying to not pass the ball at all, but I would like them to be willing to sit in that 21 personnel under center look and pound the ball if those defenses are allowing it. And I think that's the next step. And I think it could low-key be these 4 games, which have been brutal as a Dolphins fan. Those 4 games could pay dividends if Mike McDaniel continues to build off that running game. Obviously a big if, but I really hope he does so because we know what this passing offense can be with Tua and Tyreek and Waddle. We know those throws are there. I've broken down the tape on my Twitter of the open routes that have been missed by previous quarterbacks, and we know Tua hits. So we know that passing attack is still going to be good. But if they can build on this running game and open the play action passing game, like I really think that's the next level to this team that can take us from pretenders to legit contenders and making a potential playoff run. So I'm just hoping they continue to build off of that. Cardinals defense is rough.
They are bad. They are so bad.
They have some players, but they're a year or 2 away from being a legit contention team. Now, in terms of the Dolphins passing attack versus the Cardinals passing defense, once again, these numbers are skewed due to QB1 being out. Dolphins are 27th in passing yards per game, and the Cardinals are 26th in passing yards allowed. So the Dolphins passing offense has been terrible without Tua, but the Cardinals pass defense is not very good. Justin Herbert just put up 350 passing yards without legit receivers. So you have Tyreek and Waddle coming into town. I think hopefully the Dolphins take care of business on the passing side of the ball. There's obviously the rust factor. Obviously, Tua's dealt with concussions before. When he comes back from injury, there has at least, I recall when he came back when we faced the Steelers. So I think he got put on IR after the Bengals concussion, and then we faced the Steelers. He didn't have a great game. So there might be some rust. Hopefully not. Tyreek, after practice, was ecstatic, and it didn't seem like there was much rust.
He looked pretty sharp from the beginning. Is that, were you expecting that? Or?
That's just Tua, bro. Like, he's sharp, bro. Everything he do, he's sharp, bro. Especially in football, bro. He's going to be accurate. Ball's going to be catchable real good, soft in your hands.
But you never know. It is their first game back. It's a timing-based offense. He's throwing to the fastest receivers in football, so there's probably going to be a little bit of rust, but hopefully the opponent being bad enough can overcome that rust and continue to the offense kind of get back on track. So recapping the keys for the offense, I want them to continue to run the football with effectiveness like they have been under center. Don't do the cute shit. Literally under center, I form, fullback in the game, hand it off to your playmakers, whether it's Achane, Mostert, or Wright. I think all of them are great options. And then obviously just do what you do with the passing game with Tua. Those timing-based routes that have been there. Like I said, I broke it down on Twitter. I got 100,000 views on the one thing. Tyreek liked it. I probably shouldn't have said that. Likes are private now, but yeah, Tyreek agrees. He's happy QB1 is back. So I'm excited for all of this. I really think, barring the rust, so there's maybe Travis Wingfield said it very well on his podcast. If this offense was humming like we know it would be if Tua didn't miss time, he'd project like a 50 burger. But with him coming back from the injury, I'd expect, you'll see my prediction, but I think the offense is going to get back on track. It might take a week or two, but I'm very excited for it. Players to watch for the Cardinals defense: Budda Baker, obviously one of the best safeties in all of football. Zaven Collins, the first-round pick linebacker. I think they moved to edge. Just someone to look out for. He's athletic. Kaiser White, Jalen Thompson, their other safeties, also a quality player, but they lack talent on the defensive side of the ball. Like I said, I think they're a year or two away. They don't generate much pressure, so hopefully Tua should have a lot of time in the pocket. But like I said, I would love to just keep the ball on the ground and then make those throws that Huntley didn't hit last week, and I think we're humming. Obviously, eliminate those fumbles as well. Now on to the Cardinals offense versus the Dolphins defense. I just want to give a lot of love to Anthony Weaver. This defense has been tremendous despite how bad the offense has been. So I'm hoping that continues throughout the season. Obviously, pairing it back up with the Tua-led offense, I think, can pay dividends and allow this team to go on a bit of a run. The Cardinals offense is 19th in points per game. The Dolphins defense is 14th in points allowed. In terms of the Cardinals rushing attack versus the Dolphins defense, the Cardinals are 6th in rushing yards per game. The Dolphins are 17th in rushing yards allowed. So obviously, this is where the Cardinals look to win games. And these rushing stats are also included quarterback scrambles. So some of them are the undesigned runs that Kyler brings because he's one of the best athletes in all of football. He's incredible. That scamper he had against the Cardinals is the only reason they won. And that is the key to the game, in my opinion, is limiting Kyler's ability outside of the pocket. Keep him in the pocket and don't let him scurry for a 50-yard touchdown, because if he gets out of the line of scrimmage, he can take off. He's so fast. But also, they're going to look to pound the rock with James Conner. That's how they win their games. When they win, it's because they're running the football with great effectiveness. So the big thing for this team is to win those early downs, stop the rushing attack, and make them kind of a one-dimensional team on those second and third and longs, make them pass the rock, and that's kind of what leads to good success. And like I said, keep Kyler in the pocket. And I think that's kind of the key to victory. If we stop their run, I think we beat them. Cardinals passing attack versus the Dolphins passing defense. The Cardinals are 25th in passing yards per game, and the Dolphins are 1st in passing yards allowed. So shout out, once again, Anthony Weaver. Once again, these stats are a bit skewed. Obviously, against the Bills, they didn't need to do much throwing, and we've played some bad passing offenses. But, hey, still give the credit where it's due. Anthony Weaver's done a good job. I think Jalen Ramsey's been tremendous. Kader Kohu, everyone's been stepping up. The linebackers as well. So major props. I think we're the best third down defense in the league too, which is a phenomenal indicator. Obviously, take away Marvin Harrison, who has had up and down games. He's gone off a few games and he's been quiet. So that's obviously a key. He's their best skill player. So if you can silence him, maybe you throw Ramsey on him and then play the coverage around that. And then obviously they have tight end Trey McBride, one of the best tight ends in all football. He's a very good athlete at that position for his size. So take away those two targets, keep Kyler contained. I said this about Anthony Richardson. He's going to make his plays, but just don't let him beat you down in, down out. I think we did a pretty good job with Anthony Richardson, and Kyler's a different kind of scrambler. Richardson's obviously more Cam Newton built. He's obviously very athletic, but he's also going to shrug off tackles, where Kyler is so quick. So he's not going to be able to break sacks from Zach Sealer, but he's going to be able to cut in and out of certain lanes that Anthony Richardson might not be able to. So just try and keep him in the pocket, keep those rush lanes, and make him beat you from the pocket, which Kyler's a good quarterback. He can do that, but when he gets out of the pocket, he is such a threat. Up there with Lamar as the best scramblers in the league. So once again, recapping the defensive keys: stop their run, contain Kyler Murray, and I think we'll have success. Players to watch for this Cardinals offense: obviously Kyler Murray. I was a huge fan of him coming out. He's so dynamic. Once again, I think this Cardinals team is a year or two away from potentially just having a roster to truly compete. But they've won some games. I believe they have 3 wins now. Granted, not against... they beat the 49ers, they beat the Rams, and they beat the Chargers. So, I mean, they beat some quality opponents, but some of them were injured. But I think Kyler's a good quarterback. James Conner, much respect to him, bouncing from the Steelers to the Cardinals. He's been good with them. He's basically been their bell cow back. He's a very good back. Like I said, win those early downs, beat up their weak offensive line, and take care of business. Marvin Harrison Jr., like I mentioned, he's gone off some games. He's been bad some games. I think if you put Ramsey on him, he'll be pretty quiet. They've done a bad job of kind of manufacturing targets for him. So I've heard, per Travis Wingfield, that he checks out if he doesn't get a lot of targets early. So you could throw Ramsey on him and then kind of move Ramsey around after he checks out. And then Trey McBride, like I mentioned, one of the best receiving tight ends in all of football. Now, prediction time. I am 27-14 lifetime picking the Dolphins since my channel. 4-2 this year on picking the Miami Dolphins. So, pretty good record, over 50%. But my prediction is that the Miami Dolphins with QB1 backup beat the Arizona Cardinals 27-20. I would like for us to score more points, but I just can't do it yet without seeing Tua back in this offense. But I have confidence that this offense is going to start returning back to form with QB1 back. Comment your thoughts down below. I'm very excited to see Tua back. Check out the DolphinsDive.com for the best Dolphins merch. Like and subscribe to help the channel grow. And until next time, fins up.